Welcome back to this live streaming of this game between Norwester and Paramount. We had a slight technical difficulty with the ISP services here at the location, but it's quickly ironed out by our engineering team. And we're back streaming now. And just to give you a little update as to what's happening so far, Norwester are still batting quite well without loss. Patrick Heron is still at the crease, and Paramount has decided that spin is the way to go. And so at this moment, Blackwood is on, and he's going to be bowling to Eiffel from the Jimmy Powell end. And young Eiffel has been a little bit circumspect, but he's still there and looking now to exploit. Here is a good pickup and throw by Conroy Wright, but the young boy is just so quick. He was able to get to the non-striker's end fairly comfortably in the end. Very sharp single. Early in the over, Blackwood was a little bit on the short side and straight, and Heron just pulled him through mid-wicket for 4. And so far, so good. And that's up into the slot, and that's hit lovely straight back down the ground, all the way for 6. And Heron, and I don't know if you missed it earlier, but he's just so comfortable on the off stump, wide outside the offside. It's just not the line to bowl to him. You've got to be straight, and you've got to be sure that you're not missing your length when you're straight. He is a destructive player on his day, and Blackwood needs to make that adjustment fairly quickly. As I welcome my co-commentator, Andre McCarty, who's joined us back in commentary here, and so far so good for Norwester. After 5 overs, 36 runs, Andre. This is looking a very good run chase so far.
Yeah, I think they're off to a very good start. 5 overs for 36 runs. Patrick leading it, trying to guide the youngsters. So hopefully just continue the innings, and hopefully the youngster get in.
And as you mentioned, Heron is already on 31 runs of 19 deliveries. And the other end, and I think they have is that young Wyatt that's batting? It's Antoine that's batting. However, we may have to correct that on the broadcast. It says Wyatt, so we've got to change that, but it's definitely Eiffel that's batting. And he's hitting that one on the onside, down the ground for 1 to get Heron back on strike. And I think that might be the tactic for the power play. Heron would want to be facing most of the deliveries. And in order to get the most out of his power play. Now, I'm not totally against Norwester doing this, because they're trying to give the youngsters an opportunity in circumstances that will become accustomed to later on. As Basil is bowling from the top end and is a lovely line, lovely length to Heron, who is just stuck in that one in the offside for a single. And as I was saying earlier, I am quite all for seeing the youngsters being given the opportunity. And Norwester is known for doing this. And you just want to make sure that they're in the right circumstances to make that adjustment. Antoine is driving that one through the outside. Lovely shot through extra cover and cover point region. And he comes back for 2. And so far, Northwester is I had a slight break in transmission just now while we sort out some technical issues. However, Northwester's got off to a pretty good start here. 44 runs for loss of no wicket. And Patrick Heron is doing the bulk of the score, and he's already on 35 off just 21 deliveries. And I think that Paramount just knows that they need to get Heron out fairly quickly, as this could go really bad really quickly if he stays there long enough.
Yeah, I think Patrick setting the platform, but let us see him play out of the power play, because watching cricket over the years, you have players that very dominant in the power play and outside the power play. So let's see if he still have that intent, because I like his intent in the power play. So hopefully continue outside of it by pushing the ball around and still looking to score the boundary.
So, McCarthy, you've brought a very interesting point about intent. What does that mean for a player who is set and is looking to make a big score or take his team home? What should he be doing at this stage?
I think intent is just how you look. You always want to look to score. Always your body language, everything positive going towards the ball. So once you have a positive intent, whenever you get a bad ball, you always look to hit it for a boundary. And a good ball, you try and get as much single as possible. But whenever a batsman have a good intent, you can always see it, and his body language is looking for any bad ball, a ball that's slightly off length, you're looking to score.
And that's fantastic. You heard it yourself. Now, you've done this at the elite level, and is this something you would love to see players here in Cayman able to do consistently?
Yeah, by coming over here, watching them play, you know what I mean, I think I sums up most of them, if not all, just by how them play. And I think something that they're short of intent, you know what I mean, both front foot off, back foot, pushing the ball down, pushing the ball down the ground. So it's something that it can work on as a team, as a country, as a nation, as an association. So hopefully they just look at the positive and try and work on it.
And as Adrian Wright is now bowling, and that one's driven back to him by young Eiffel. And as I said, don't mind the name that you're seeing on the screen. It says Wyatt J, but it's actually Eiffel that's batting at the moment, and he's hitting that one in the offside. Adrian is back from his exploits, a good return, but has some overthrows, and an extra one single is taken. Conroy Wright, who has a very good arm, was quick to pick that delivery up and thrown at the stumps, past 1-2 players, and went into the onside again, and a second run was taken by young Eiffel and Heron. So, as you were saying earlier, that intent you want to be seeing at this stage of the innings is just taking those quick singles, putting pressure on the outfielders for those twos, and then as the bad ball comes, you want to be dispatching those deliveries. Is this a tactic by the elite level international players? Do they look to get a boundary off the first, second delivery of each over at this stage when you're well set at 50 without loss, 6 overs down?
Yeah, it's always whenever you just always have to be looking to score. Again, I don't think the fielding team understand reading the game properly. You must want to keep the youngsters on strike as much ball as possible, especially bowling outside his half stump is very weak. Conroy is on the edge of the circle. We should be closing, stopping a single, because that is his weak area, that is his strong area. So stuff like that, you know, as a nation we have to look at, because just looking at the game, then Patrick now maybe it can be on the edge for Patrick because he's a more cut off the ball, but where he's not strong, which is mid wicket, that's where you need a guy to be closing in at him. Because one on the offside, he will hit the ball hard, and on the leg side, he will barely try to get a single, because that is not his strongest area. So just looking on, I hope they catching all of these statistics, stuff like this, and just try and work. But to be on the point for the youngster, all the way on the edge of the circle for the youngster at point it's a no-brainer for me.
Fair enough. Good analysis. And I'm also looking at the line the bowler was bowling, because if you're going to be in that position, you really don't want to be bowling straight into his leg stump. And that might be tactically not correct for the bowler.
Again, look at it. Raquel is on the edge. Shot third man. We all know the shot to him like. We all sum up the shot to him like. So it's just stuff like that. So I think it more comes down to strategic planning and more understanding of the batter and what he's trying to do. You just don't want the bowlers keep on bowling and bowling and bowling. You must have a plan, and you always want to execute your plan. And if your plan is to bowl to the bowler weak here, at least 5 or 6 ball out of it, that should be the plan.
As Basil is bowling full delivery that got hit through the cover point area, and they came back for a second. And this is now a troubling sign for Paramount, as Norwester is settled in 53 without loss after only 7.2 overs. And this is good going by Heron and Co. And another full delivery that's hit over extra cover, and that's gone all the way for 6. What a lovely shot that was. It was a poor delivery, but Heron just extended his arms, and that's his strong area, McCarthy, and just hits that one so beautifully over extra cover.
It's not beautiful, it's effortless, and as I can see, that is in his strong area. So the same thing I was talking about. Then the bowlers have to adjust to the batters and try to let him bowl most of the ball in his area that is not comfortable, which is more straight and more middle of a leg stump.
And Basil is an experienced bowler, so he can make that adjustment. And Heron was just happy. It's just meat and drink for him outside the off stump. He absolutely smashed that so beautifully over extra cover, and it went all the way for 6. And Basil now has to make that adjustment to come straight, and that's a much better delivery.
That ball was like a cake to a fat kid.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's made the adjustment, which is, you kind of want to see that as well. And Basil, with all the years of experience, knows that he's made a mistake with that full delivery, or a couple of them at the beginning of the over. Heron is getting most of the strikes, so I think tactically, Paramount really needs to get a hold of this really quickly. Again, a delivery outside the off stump. Heron is good fielding by Raquel Walker, and the overthrows go for a single, and that was not good backing up there by Adrian Wright, because Raquel did all the hard work to pick the ball up quickly, got there very quickly, picked up the ball and did the throw, and Adrian was in a good position to stop the second run, the overthrows, but didn't really collect cleanly, and Heron obliged for the second for a run. And there Eiffel is punching that one into the offside. It may have worked out well for Paramount because they really don't want Heron to be on strike. And but at the end of the over, now Norwester is already 62 runs after 8 overs, but the most importantly, no wickets lost. So they are setting a really good foundation in chase of this 149, McCarthy.
Yeah, 149. I think the two opening pair really setting up the game. So once they set up the game, it's just for the middle order to come and just finishing the game. But 8 overs for 62 runs, I think that is a very good going. It's just now to Patrick to just try and bring it as deep as possible. It seems that he's a set batsman out there. So hopefully he do it. So let's watch and see for the next 2 to 3 overs, and then we can see how the game go from here.
And Heron is only 4 runs short of his half century, and he's only faced 25 deliveries, and so far very measured innings by his standards, but certainly hitting the ball really well, and is going back and trying to punch that one through the offside. That bounced quite a bit, and that's the thing with Adrian Wright. He's unassumingly quick through the ear. He kind of ambles up to the crease, doesn't really use the momentum of his run-up, but he's good shoulder action, very strong high arm action, gets the ball a lot of revs, and then the ball bounces a lot more like a top spinner. And sometimes batsmen tend to back away, and the ball does a bit more off the surface.
Again, the youngster is on strike again, and watch the field. There's no changing of position. Everybody remain the same. So they still give him an easy single same way when the field should be closing in for him. So it's just stuff like that where as team they have to analyze and read it as fast as possible, because just look like check Conroy at backward point. He's not Patrick batting. You should be closing in on the youngster.
And that was a poor delivery, but almost cost a wicket on the onside, and it's a drop catch and a near run-out chance. A comedy of errors here, and a lot happening in just one delivery. First, we assess the fact that the offside is not correct. Then the bowler, Adrian Wright, went straight, got hit into the onside, a fairly poor delivery, straight to the man at deep backward square, dropped, and then almost a run out. So much happening in one delivery. And Eiffel just punches that one down the ground for a single. Adrian must be feeling heartfelt now. He's now, it's a hard, tough going out there, and that was a chance put down by the man at deep backward square. Fairly easy chance that has been put down. Not acceptable in such a small run chase. And Adrian, that's a lovely delivery. He does get the ball to rev forward like a top spinner quite well, and when he does it, it's not easy to negotiate because sometimes the ball keeps low, and at other times the revs just lets the ball bounce more than normal, so you're sort of caught in two minds how to play him. So a good bowler. He's always been one of the better bowlers we have on island, and did actually bowl fairly well in that over, and a drop chance as well, so I'm assuming he's not feeling great at the moment about that, but they've got to keep trying. And I think the key wicket here has to be Patrick Heron. And I think tactically, Paramount needs to find a way to keep him off strike for a while, get him bored for a bit, and maybe force him to think that nothing is happening, and basically force a false shot. So at this stage, they should be squeezing, making sure the inner circle is nice and tight to young Eiffel. I think the point, as you mentioned earlier, is just a bit too deep, and should have that fielder nice and tight into the batsman. And spin again from the far end to young Eiffel. Jermaine Lewis, and that one is tucked into the onside, and there's no run. And this is what Paramount needs to do. They need to keep Eiffel on strike as much as possible and keep Aaron at the other end. Not a delivery outside the off stump, but not punished by Eiffel. That delivery is there for the taking. You've got to be able to hit the gaps. And just managed to hit the ball straight to the fielder. Not a delivery. Short, wide outside off stump. It's pulling that one through the onside, and it's just tugged at short fine leg area. Picked up by, looks like Dino McInnes, and came back for one. And I think Norwester is quite happy to see Heron on strike. And he's there on 47, but he has had to watch a few deliveries from the opposite end, and that might just force a fall shot from him at this stage. And Paramount has got to be aware of that and take the chance when it comes. And this might be the only chance they get from him. And he's pushing that one in the offside, being really watchful at this stage. I think he's got his 50 in mind, and therefore a bit watchful. And maybe the scores are incorrect on the screen, but he's raising his bat for his 50. And maybe we missed the score by 2 runs, but that's well played by the young man. That's a really, really good innings. And I'm noticing that he's raised his bat. So I'm assuming he's got signal from the scorers down below that he is on 50. And we're not sure here in commentary box. We're on the upper floor of the pavilion, so we'll get some confirmation shortly. But from what we're seeing on the screen, he's on 48, but he just 49, but he did raise his bat. And that's usually in acknowledgement of reaching his half century. All in all, a very good innings by Patrick. He's dominated this 69-run partnership and did the bulk of the scoring. Heron is just tucking that one in the offside. Very watchful the last over or so. And maybe thinking in his mind, he needs to bat deep into this innings for Norwester to be able to have a chance in this game. And so far, plan has worked. Eiffel gave one chance into deep backward square, but now Heron is recognizing his responsibility as the more mature of the opening batsman, and is just looking now to get himself another restart, maybe looking to see off this little period and then maybe go after the bowling again. And Adrian Wright has not been bowling too badly to Heron. And he's bowled a couple of loose deliveries to Eiffel, but to Heron he's been quite good. He's getting the ball to bounce outside the off stump. Heron is not very comfortable with that delivery, just like that. And that's up in the air, and it's gone all the way. It's a beautiful shot. What a lovely shot that was. He's extended his arms over the offside, all the way over long off for 6. Now he's raised his bat for 50, which we thought earlier that he may have got the information incorrect, but what a really good innings by Patrick Heron, and in a rich run of form, and just looking to bat his team into a winning position here. Has really played a fantastic knock, has taken full charge of this partnership so far, and just playing really, really well. I think what he's done very well in this innings. He's been watchful. He's looked to, anytime you're in his area, cash in, like you did there. If you're not the length, he's picking the length very, very well. And full credit to him for batting with such a good plan. And I feel now is also there with him, most likely playing the anchor role at this moment. And he doesn't really need to do much with Heron going so well. Again, Adrian gets that ball with the forward revs to bounce more in front of the batsman. You can see Eiffel on his toes to play that delivery. And that's Adrian's strength. He gets the ball to forward spin, so it's like a top spinner. There you go again. Another good line, another good length. And possibly Eiffel might need to basically get on top of that delivery and punch it down the ground, get off strike. Or in this case, it was the end of the over, but in order to get runs off those deliveries, he's got to be looking with more intent to hit on top of the bounce of the ball and get the ball in the middle of the bat, down the ground. But that would mean his positioning needs to be quicker on his feet in order to execute that shot. And spin seems to be the ploy here by Paramount, and I must be at some point thinking about bringing Conroy right back into the attack now, because Heron looks fairly comfortable, and so does Eiffel. And they must change something at this stage. I'm assuming Conroy would look to come back maybe on the next over. And they still have Alistair Eiffel, the father to young Eiffel. I would love to see him bowl into his son. It would be quite a spectacle. And I see him in the field. He's actually one of the more senior bowlers on the team for Paramount. And I'm sure they'll be looking to him and Conroy Wright any moment now to come into the attack. And it would be quite a moment to see him bowl into his son. A special moment for him to be on the same playing field with his son. A young man, only maybe 19 years old now. And I feel dad is a long-serving member of the national team. And Heron is hitting that one in the air. It's gone all the way for 6. And that's the thing. You just can't miss your length with Patrick. He is so good at hitting the ball through the line. He's very clean striker of the ball. And he's here staring down another 100. But so far, he's batted so well for his 62 runs off just 34 deliveries. It's quite a good knock so far. And as I said, there's something needs to change for Paramount at this stage. They just can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. And Patrick backs away, hits that one wide of the man at long on, and it's picked up in the deep by Kartik, who is also available to bowl. I'm not sure what Captain Codner is thinking at this point. He's got Kartik, he's got Eiffel, he's got Conroy. One of those three must be coming on next over. And that's just poor fielding. At the end of the day, it's tough going for the bowlers. We've had a drop catch, and Norwester is making Paramount pay for that mistake. And they're also taking quick singles. It's just a little bit too deep inside the circle. And Patrick Heron is hitting that one over extra cover into the gap, goes for 4, And he's just motoring along now and is up to 67 runs. He's absolutely motoring now. And the bowlers have got to realize that that length on line to Heron is just not going to work. And something has got to change the next over. I expect the skipper to either bring Conroy Wright, Alistair Eiffel, or Kartik on the attack now. And Heron is hitting that one. Oh, it was a brilliant attempt by Captain Codner. And that would have been quite a spectacular catch had he taken it. As we hit pretty hard in the cover area. He covered a lot of ground to get to the delivery. And in the end, after all that effort, didn't manage to hold on to the ball, but it was a fantastic effort by the captain in the cover area. And limit that run to 1. That was hit pretty hard. And Eiffel just tucks that one into. I think they've got this wrong. They're bowling straight to Eiffel and wide to Patrick. That's complete opposite of what should be happening. You've got to be bowling straighter to Patrick and bowling wider to Eiffel. You don't even need to really look at this innings, just the way they're approaching their batting. Patrick is backing away. He wants to open up that offside to hit the ball through the offside. And young Eiffel is trying to get close to the ball to hit through the onside. So if that's the case, as I welcome McCarthy back in commentary, then they've got to be able to understand this quickly. And Eiffel is coming on, and this is quite a moment. And I know I was going through the analysis, but this is something we've got to recognize, that the father, Alistair Eiffel, is now going to be bowling to Anton Eiffel. So Eiffel to Eiffel here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. And this is quite a moment. It must be a proud moment for Daddy Alistair Eiffel. And it must be a wonderful feeling for him to see his son in a game that he is playing at this level. And I'm really looking forward to the competition because he is a really serious competitor. Yeah. And he starts outside the off stump, and Eiffel just tucked that one into the offside to get off strike, not trying to make eye contact with his dad. He's looking down into the surface. It's quite funny to see. And Alistair Eiffel, who is not one who is short for a quick word or two to the opposition, pretty sure he's going to say a word or two to his son. And it would be quite a spectacle if we should see that happen today.
Yeah, it's always a proud moment whenever father bowling to son. But again, making Patrick it into a side which you don't enjoy doing. It's always the plan. If you're losing, you have to lose that way. So I think Hyphen come on and really that first two ball, I'm impressed with him. So let's see how he continue the over.
Yeah, with all his experience, Eiffel will know he needs to be straight to Patrick Heron. He can't be wide outside the off stump. And even with that angle, that delivery is coming into Patrick Heron and not giving him the room to hit through the offside, which is very dangerous. So Eiffel needs to keep a lid on that length, and that line is straight. And he's backing away to hit that delivery. And Eiffel is trying to open up that offside. He's trying to open that offside. And you can see from his intent, Eiffel is very aware that he needs to be straight. And it's working so far. Again, a delivery that's straight and is gone for no run. And Eiffel here, using all his experience, McCarthy, and bowling the areas that we know, we've been saying in commentary, it's got to be full straight to Patrick, and maybe not too full, but straight.
Yeah, straight. I think with Patrick, if it's on his body and it's too short, he will pull it. He has fast hands, so he will get it on straight. But once you go full, force him to hit it like mid-off straight, mid-wicket, then I think you stand a good chance of getting him out ball or something. But for now, it's kind of hard for him to score. So I think have to just continue to apply the pressure by starting just half stump spinning into him, force him to do something he's not comfortable doing.
And I feel did the double bluff there. I think don't want Patrick Heron to be premeditating, so he went wider of the off stump just to let Patrick know that he can change the length and the line. but I'm pretty sure he's going to go right back straight, and that was just to set Patrick up. And Eiffel gets the ball to also skid through and drift, and sometimes he gets the ball to dip with a lot of overspin. And I'm thinking that, knowing him, he's probably trying to set Patrick up for that big heave over the offside to get him bowled with that ball that drifts down. But you can't be missing your length. He's hold that ball too tight, and it's pulled all the way for 6. And it was just gripped that ball too tight. And I think Eiffel was just maybe putting a lot of revs on the delivery, ended up dragging that one down, and ended up turning into a long hop. But I know exactly the feeling as a leg spinner. And sometimes you want to put revs on the ball so the ball does a bit in the air. In that situation, I feel got it completely wrong.
As I said before, once you pitch a ball short in his body, he will hit it. He has fast hands. So anything short on his body that he can get the hands to, he will hit it. But you know what I mean, for the first time I play against him, I think I summed him up well as a batter. He's just an opponent now to try and sum him up well. This time he will score runs once he go in his area, but it will be challenging once you stay close to him full. So Conroy coming back on now with his experience, seeing pace bowler ball near. I think Conroy always bowl well within the new ball or coming back with the old ball. He just seemed natural, always running in, putting the ball here, licking the wicket hard. He just seemed like one of those cricketers which is we're always gifted.
And very pleasing on the eyes, very smooth approach to the crease. And when he runs through, just beautiful action, gets the ball to naturally go away from the right-hander. And a lot of the times when he comes back, he does bowl a very rapid Yorker length delivery that tends to catch you off guard. And it's really do or die now, I think, for Paramount, because Norwester is going extremely well. And after a very good outing in the field, Paramount is now to basically defend 149. We know what's always going to be tricky. Here's Conroy right now, hits the length right away, and Eiffel is looking for a second run, nearly got himself in trouble, and fortunately the throw was not a very good one, and Adrian Wright does the cleaning up, and Eiffel was not able to get a second run. But Conroy is most likely going to bowl full and straight to Patrick, and if he executes well, then I would love to see how Patrick negotiates that, because he's well set now and looking to bat his way through this innings.
Yeah, and from just from me and Alexandra and everybody here and from the Cayman fraternity, just want to say a speedy recovery to Buck. I think he's in the hospital. He's coming out very soon. He just said we should big him up. So speedy recovery to Buck.
And Javon is one of those players, he just enjoys his company. He's such a live wire, always in a good mood, and one of those guys that gives you everything on the field. So I want to give him a big shout out. He's a member of the West Bay team and a very important member of that team. And I know the guys are wishing him well and want him to be back out on the cricket field playing. He's a wonderful teammate and a good guy to have in the changing room.
Yeah, he told me he's watching the game, he's listening, and he don't hear anybody say anything about him. So, Buck, here is your chance.
No, quite. I mean, Javon, his moment this year was in a game against Norwester, and he was bowling in a very tough game. And Vic was actually batting, who is also in this team, and was batting really well, and decided he was going to talk to the fielder to make sure he make the adjustment his bowling, and it just turned out that the ball he bowled, Vic hit it exactly to that same fielder, and Javon Buck basically had his big moment, and it's quite a spectacle and something to watch. So we can't wait to see him back on the field again, Andre, and looking forward to seeing him with a speedy recovery, back with his team, back on the cricket field where he likes to be.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that from the first time I came here, he's guy, very high in spirit. I think he loved the game of cricket. And to see a guy give up his Saturday sometime to come and play, you have to appreciate that. And not even that, him come here just to have fun and just enjoy it, just time off from work, spend time around his friends and his teammates, and just come and enjoy the day of cricket. So it's always good when you have players like that.
And it's really what you want to see. And we must mention also, I know we're diverting from Norwester going really well. Conroy using all his experience to change the pace of the delivery. But Buck also has a very good following. His family and friends do support him quite well. And usually when he's on the field, they're always here to support him. So I'm sure while he's not so well, that everybody is wishing for him to hurry up and get well and come back to where we will see him back on the field again. So Javon, massive shout out to you and wishing you a speedy recovery, and see you soon, hopefully, my friend.
Again, it just show the experience of Conroy running in and ball. I think the batters them identify it. Patrick, I think it should be in better position to hit that ball. He's about 60 something. What's the score? What's Patrick's score?
Yeah, we're gonna wait on that to come up. For Patrick is already on
He's on 78, so you know what I mean. To get caught on the crease with that, I think that's not good. But he live to fight another day, so hopefully he does continue. But so far he has played very well. He has played very well. It's just that just want to see a little bit more thinking from the Paramount bowlers just to work out the situation more, because if the cricket and Cayman looking to go forward, then the players have to start thinking a lot more of what they need to do and how they can improve it and sums up the game, have a better IQ of the game.
I completely agree with that. And I think it may have been a situation where I think the captain, Codner, took too long to bring Conroy back into the attack, because they were going comfortably, and I think maybe 3-4 overs ago would have been where I thought he would have brought Conroy back. The moment you get to the 10th over and there's no loss of a wicket, you've got to go back to your main bowler. And from historically, Conroy Wright is a man that you can depend on to come back. If not give you a wicket, will actually keep the scoring down. And Norwester was in full flight. Another delivery wide outside off stump that Heron has dispatched, and he's now moved into the 80s and motoring on.
Again, every time the ball is full outside half stump or short outside half stump, Patrick get his hand through the ball or on his body. So it's very poor bowling from the Paramount bowler. So I just want him just look at it, think about it, and come as quick as possible. But I should say Ali is a very experienced bowler, so let's see.
Again, that delivery is hit straight to the man at deep cover, and basically, and I think the captain, the bowler is upset. He thinks that Adrian Wright could have made a better attempt at that delivery, and I tend to agree with him. That ball hung in the air for a bit, and when the team is going this well, you've got to try and go for every opportunity, every half chance. And I think that was not a very good attempt from Adrian on the boundary. It's a half chance, but a chance nonetheless to get back into the game. Heron, the man who is going so well on 83, you've got to go for it. It's just that important to try and pull the game back. You can't give up at this stage. You've got to try. And I feel is bowling that one, tossed that one up, and driven down the offside. And again, I feel the younger Eiffel is not making any eye contact with his dad. He's just holding his head down whenever he passes him, maybe out of respect, but he's not looking up. I'm pretty sure he's worried that you don't want to be sleeping outside. So he's absolutely doing the right thing, I would say. Outside the off stump, Patrick misses that one. Alistair does get the ball to slide through, so that may be one of those. And again, young Eiffel just walks away, keeps his head firmly on the surface, and not wanting him to make any eye contact with his dad. But they're going really well at this moment, and Patrick Heron doing the bulk of the scoring. 83 runs, only 50 deliveries, and his eyes are now set on not only winning the game, McCarthy, but also possibly 100 in sights. I love the partnership, 113 from 90 deliveries. Heron, obviously, a bulk of the scoring, and as I said earlier, the narration is incorrect. It's actually Antoine Eiffel that's batting and not Wyatt. But again, even though he's not scoring more than less than 50%, it doesn't really impact the Nor'Wester run chase. Paramount there, looking at the bowling figures, again, Conroy Wright has bowled his 3 overs for 12 runs, and Kevin Basil, 4 overs, 32 runs. So most of the bowling, Blackwood went for 14 off his first over, and Adrian Wright has another over left, and he's going for 5.33. Jermaine Lewis was pretty much 2 overs, went for 18. Alistair Eiffel, 2 overs for 17. And Davian Codner, who is now coming on to bowl. I just believe that maybe they have missed the trick here, Paramount. They should have brought Conroy Wright in after over number 10. And also, possibly Eiffel could have come on a bit earlier. And I don't understand why there wasn't a call for Karthik to have a bowl as well. He's also pretty clever and could cause some problems on the surface. And Antoine just doesn't need to do anything silly here, and just needs to bat with his partner Heron, who is going really well at the other end. And the delivery only on leg side is swept to the man, to his dad actually, at deep backward square, a little bit finer than normal, and sweeps up and cleans up that. He comes back just for one, takes one for that shot, and Codner is bowling it through and around to the left-hander. And McCarthy, at this stage, is there anything that Northwestern can do to get this game back under control? Just maybe 30 runs or so away from a victory for Northwestern. 30 runs plus.
I think Northwest is really the favorite at the moment. It's just for them to just continue. But as I said, Katna is very short, and he's level the ball around him. So his ball will pitch and skid more of keep low most of the time. So let's see what he can pull outside of his magic bag.
And that's hit through the offside, threaded through a needle. That's a beautiful shot. The full delivery, poor from Captain Codner. But again, Heron just executes so well. There's literally about 6 feet between the man at cover, straight cover, and the man at mid-off. Patrick just basically threaded that like a needle through that area, and it went all the way for 4. And another beautiful shot by Patrick, and he moves on to 87.
Again for me, field placement again. So if you could see Codner have up the field for Patrick. And not for Heron. So and that is Patrick's strong area. So again, that's sure the thinking of exactly what we are talking about.
But McCarthy, with this field that he has, the batsman should be able to premeditate that the delivery is going to be straight. You've got a man at short mid-on, white mid-on, a long on, a man at cow corner, a man at square leg, and a man at deep backward square. That's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But again, he want to bowl to Heron and look at his field. You look at his field.
And that's another drop catch.
Look at his field, but everybody's at the edge of the boundary. Same way, everybody's at the edge of the circle when you want to bowl 4 or the 5 of the ball to him.
And after an eventful over, if you're going to be bowling to that delivery, if you've got 5 players on the onside, you can look at the worm now. Northwestern is firmly in control of this run chase. There's absolutely nothing stopping them at this point. It seems like Paramount has all but thrown in, basically given up at this stage. And I just think they may have missed the trick and tactically got it wrong, and should have made a few adjustments at around over number 10 once no wicket fell and Heron was still at the crease. You've got to get your best bowlers bowl into your best players. And in that scenario, I believe Eiffel and Conroy should have been bowling to Heron at the over number 10 mark when you got to that stage. And I think the captain, Codner, may have missed the trick on this one. And now Heron is pretty well set. And a perfect scenario for young Eiffel to be batting with someone who is going at this rate, because he doesn't need to do anything other than stay there with his partner and pick up the odd run here and there and try to be off strike as much as possible, as Patrick Heron has taken full control of this run chase and is staring down the sights of 100, 12 runs away, and is most likely, if nothing changes, it's up to him, another shot through the offside, and takes a single, moves him to 89 runs. And all Eiffel needs to do is just to get his partner Heron on strike and see him to 100 and see his team to victory. And this is going to do a lot of good for Norwest's run rate and makes a difference in the table now. And Eiffel is hitting that one in the air. One bounce to his dad at deep, long off. And, that's just poor cricket. And Heron is on the field arguing doesn't look good. And he's arguing with what appears to something his teammate said to him. At the end of the day, what is he doing not picking the ball up? That is absolutely disgraceful and not something you want to be seeing on the cricket field. That's not how you play the game. You still got a responsibility to collect the ball on the return. And we have a lot of youngsters watching this game, and we don't want to see that on the cricket field. It's just not the way we should approach cricket. And he just needs a moment to compose himself after that ridiculous response to that return ball from the boundary. He just needs to compose himself now.
I think watching Mikel bowling, and saying to himself, if he was him, he would have catch it.
Another boundary. And this is like a walk in the park now for Northwestern McCarthy. Their Paramount seems to all but there's hands on the hips, heads are falling. I think they've given up this game, and Norwester is just going to be cruising to a victory. Patrick needs only 7 runs to make 100. And he's threading that one through the offside, take a single.
I think for me, watching the game, watching Patrick innings, I think is a very good innings. But then again, there were crucial moments in the game that I don't think any of the fielders really make an attempt to go for that catch. Normally, in cricket, when you have a batsman going like that, and they give you half a chance, you want to make the best of it. But again, for me, I would just say, looking at the cricket, maybe in the next 6 months to a year, you will get players more going after that without the board moving. I think they will put more things in place to motivate players to go and play more harder, play more positive, and just to go out there and just enjoy a good weekend of cricket.
And I completely share that same sentiment. The interview at the break with Rob Cox, who is a member of the executive, spoke very eloquently about the plans for the future and getting the infrastructure in place. And I know that the next step is to get the players playing at a much higher level. And when you're a professional, those half chances, you must turn them into a full chance. And you don't really get that lethargic response to. The bowler was visibly upset. Cast my mind back to that shot through over extra cover by Heron towards Adrian Wright. And Alistair Eiffel was the bowler. And he was visibly very upset with Adrian's attempt, considering that the only way to get back in this game was to get rid of Heron. And I don't believe that the fielders took that opportunity well at all to give the team a chance to get back into the game. And so to your point, I think that comes with understanding game situations, and that comes with players that are understanding what's the moment, to seize the moment. And therefore, Adrian will have to think about that, and in the next game, understand that there's no time to lapse in the field, because any moment can change the game. And it's important that when you're playing, you are switched on to take those chances when they come.
Yeah, the skipper Cardinal is coming back on. Hopefully he can bowl a better over this time with a better plan. So let's see.
And Heron, who is now well in sights of 100 and takes two, and that looks like is taking 2 runs, which takes him to 96 runs. So it's 4 runs. The fielder signaling 4 to the umpire.
It's 4?
Yes, 4 runs. So takes him to 98 runs.
98.
So Heron is well in sight of another 100, and he will be very happy with this.
Again, ball straight to him. You see the difference?
And he's punching that one down the ground. Could this be it? Could this be it? Straight down the ground. Went all the way for 4, and he's reached 100. That's a fantastic, well supported by the crowd here. Well appreciated by his teammates who have turned out on a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon to watch good cricket. And Heron has single-handedly taken this game away from Paramount. He's played a magnificent innings. He's played in his areas. He's looked for those loose deliveries, and he's played a knock that he will not forget. And I think this is a very good moment for him. And he batted fantastically well, looks well in control, didn't give any chances, and well-deserved. Another attempt, a sharp chance here, and wired Blackwood, an attempt there to take that catch. Heron does hit the ball quite well. And I tell you what, McCarthy, that will do a lot for his confidence going forward this season.
Yeah. I see make him 100 sometime last year, but I think this one a little bit more compact than compared to the one before. So hopefully he's improving and building strength by strength. So let's see how it goes for the rest of the season.
I reckon this is probably the best 100 I've seen him score. He was well in control, and Young Eiffel hits his boundary. And if I'm not mistaken, this might be his first boundary. And he's up to 31 runs now. So he stayed there with Heron, who was giving him the freedom to sort of play well within himself. And because Heron was doing all the scoring, and he's worked, he helped himself to 31 runs. So happy for the youngster. His dad is watching on the opposition. And even though he would love to have gotten him out, I think his dad would be quite happy to see the young man get 31 runs and still batting well. And hit that one back past the bowler, gets another single, and comes back for 2. And I think overall, Northwestern have really approached this game really, really well. And they're well within sights of a victory here. And it's going to do a lot for their run rate. If Northwestern is giving themselves a real chance here to get into the semifinals. This is a big, big, big win for them with their run rate, and also the fact is that they've now defeated the undefeated team, as Paramount has not lost a game for quite some time. And Northwestern has absolutely demolished this Paramount team today. And Heron, the main culprit here, who absolutely taken this game away from Paramount, and well deserves his moment when he got to his 100. A very loud roar from the crowd. Many of the players, former teammates and his Division 1 team, shouting his name and applauding him, standing ovation from his teammates. That's how important this knock was. And number 25 there, Patrick Heron, really, really good player to watch when he's in full flow. Today gave us an absolute masterclass. And I must say that in some instance, Paramount will be ruining this because they tactically got it so wrong against him. They bowled in his strong area and he absolutely took them apart. And McCarthy, I tell you what, if there's area to improve on, is that he will need to now be able to go back to the drawing board when there's a team that's able to work out these deficiencies. But certainly today, he was a beauty to watch.
Yeah, sometimes when you're looking at the cricket, you have to look and he's a very good 100, but you have to look at the national senior bowler Conroy. Look how him play him, and then you judge him from there. So Conroy is a more senior player bowler in the country, and that's how you can judge a battle by how he play Conroy. So you understand. So then again, he's a good 100, but then for him to prepare to play against US, Canada, and Bermuda and all those teams. You can definitely see where you need to improve. Cause you have to look at him playing, how him play Conroy, and how much him score off Conroy. Then you could judge him and say, okay, this is it. This is where he is. This is where he could be, and stuff like that. So stuff like that you have to look at. You see it.
And to your point, he's out. Conroy Wright has picked him up, caught behind after a very good 100. He's gone, which McCarthy goes to my point earlier that I thought the captain missed the trick. At over number 10, you've got to bring back your strike bowler, and Conroy Wright is the best bowler on that team. You've got to bring him back to bowl to the best player on the Northwestern team. This could have been a completely different game. However, as it stands, as the replay shows, Conroy in and around those areas, change of pace, and easily nicked off to the keeper. Conroy Wright is a well-established bowler that knows what he's doing. I was just surprised that they took so long to bring him back at over number 15 with a well-set opening partnership. I think tactically Paramount may have missed the trick.
Yeah, I think they missed the trick a bit. But you have to remember that Connor only have 4 overs and he bowled 2 in the power play. So he's just when he will come back. I think maybe when he come back, maybe a over or 2, he should come back a bit earlier, so we could probably get a wicket and get one Patrick and kind of bring them in the game. But all in all, it was a very good 100 from Patrick. But again, as I said, when I'm watching the cricket, and from my point of view right here, just summing up the cricket, summing up the Cayman Island cricket itself, you could look at the improvement, but then again, Conroy is a senior fast bowler in the country. You open the bowling, how Patrick play him will tell you how him is going forward and how the nation is going forward. So he's a senior bowler. You want to see him look comfortable, scoring him easy. So I must give big respect to Conroy, but also very well played to Patrick. But there's a lot of work need to be done, and there's a lot of things that can improve on, and it's always a work in progress.
Oh, that's a beautiful pull shot from hooked round deep backward square by Vic. I tell you, he's such a good player, this guy. He's completely unassuming and does everything. He's good batter, good bowler, clever cricketer.
And again, it can show you what the facility do. I've been here about a few days, and since I've been here, I see Vic 2 days in the nets practicing pull shot. And the first ball him get, it was outside. It was over square leg for 1 bounce. That exact shot he was practicing it for the last 2 days. And this is him, the first ball he faced over there. So it's just show you that once you have proper facility and stuff like that, players will improve and continue to work on their game.
Absolutely. Conroy comes to bowl to him again, and he's definitely going after this. He's trying to finish this game in a hurry. Didn't really get a hold of that delivery, but he's clear shown his intent. The first 2 deliveries, he's right after the bowling, but I'm thinking he's feeling really good about himself after training so hard this week leading up to the game. He's such a clever player, a player that is sometimes goes under the radar, but very effective, a good guy to have in the team because he's gritty and upsets the opponents a lot because he's wily and clever and good little off spinner, good top order player, has a good cricket background, growing up in Guyana, and played a lot of his cricket with a lot of very good players. And you could tell from the way he approaches the game, he understands the game very well, and should be a wonderful addition to this Cayman cricket community. Another player that I'm looking to watch to see what he does in the years to come. I'm sure that the board has identified him as another player to invest in. And as you said, he's taking his training very seriously and spends a lot of time in the nets, working on his craft. And you can tell from ball 1, he was ready to pull one of the better bowlers in Cayman through deep backward square for 4. And meanwhile, Eiffel is there, not out, and he's played a lovely pull shot through deep backward square, and I think that's it. And Northwestern deservingly has absolutely demolished this Paramount team, and a big 9-wicket victory. And in commentary earlier, while speaking with McCarthy, we thought that that score would not be enough on this surface. And earlier in the pitch report, when we did it, we thought that this pitch was upwards of 160, 170, even 180 would be a winning score, not 150. And it's proven to be right as Norwester has chased down this runs with almost an over to spare. And in the same breath, we had the young man who is there for the under 19 captain. He's batted all the way through and has helped himself to 41 runs. And I'm so happy to see this because Norwesters ethos, they've always wanted to promote youth. And today they could watch in the stands another young man given the opportunity to bat at the top with Patrick Heron, who helped him greatly with a fantastic 100. But Paramount, I think, tactically got it wrong today, McCarthy. And I believe that they will go and rue the chances or rue the tactical approaches they had today. Or at some point, we'll get a hold of the captain for an interview. And I'm going to be going out the commentary box now. So I'm going to hand over to you to finish. To finish and do the summary of the game while I try to get a hold of the captains for an interview.
Well, yeah, so the match summary is that Patrick 103 of 61, around 37 of 52. You have Durham come and make 5 of 2. All in all, for the bowling right, 2 for 21. What that? 4, 4 1 for 21. And Walker, 1 for 9 runs, and Blackwood 1 over for 14 runs. That was the bowling figures. So it was a very good day of cricket. And I just want to say thank you and thank you from here. So well played to North Star, well played to Patrick. And hope you enjoy the game and have a very good afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah. What captain today? Willis? Yeah. Tell him for shit. Don't change. Omar! Don't change.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCarthy. It looks as though we have Patrick
I commentated, so you hear my
downstairs.
fucking voice talking shit about you all the time. Patrick, what a wonderful innings. It was very pleasing to watch. I mean, how do you sum that up? How are you feeling right now after that 100 that you made today?
Well, it's a great feeling. It's always good to make runs. I started the season quite well. I fell back a bit last week. I got out of the first ball, so I knew it was time to get back in the runs. And it's a good time to get in the runs heading into the playoffs.
And what was your tactic in the power play? You went after the ball and you took charge, and young Eiffel was at the other end. What was it that was going through your thoughts while in the power play? I mean, you played beautifully, but what was your thoughts?
Well, we all know in my team, my job is to give the team a good start, and I'm batting with a youngster, so I'm the senior guy out there, so it's always my duty to go after the ball and make sure my team gets a good start and a good score in the power play.
I must say, so this 100.
We seem to be having a problem with the microphone of Alessandro. I'll just get him on the line and have him to conduct the interview. Stand by.
I'm here with the losing captain today, Codner. And Codner, it looks like you may have come up short in your setting that score on this really, really good batting wicket. What are your thoughts on how the game went today?
Well, first I have to say the batting was atrocious, and I think the wicket wasn't as good as we thought. I think it was a bit on the slower side, but nevertheless, the batsman didn't turn up today, and the performances was just poor.
So you reckon maybe around 20, 20, 30 runs short in the end?
Yeah, I mean, on this wicket we should have got 180, even though it was a bit slow, but we didn't bat to plan.
And how about in the field today? What was the tactic? And I noticed that Conroy Wright came back quite late. And also Eiffel didn't bowl until quite late. What was the plan today for this approach in this game with Norwester going that well?
Well, with Narisa going that well, we was trying to use Eiffel. We were hoping to get a wicket, so right under could come in, so Eiffel could get, but we didn't get a chance. Like we were very poor in the field, so we didn't get a chance to bring on Eiffel early. And for Conroy, we was just trying to maintain him because we only have one seam bowler, so we have to use him wisely.
Commiserations for today. Paramount has been fantastic all season. So I'm assuming today is just a matter of going, put this one behind you, go back to the drawing boards and get ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. We're still going to top the group. We're still going to top the table. We just have to get back to the drawing board, get the players back together, build a proper atmosphere, and just continue to play good cricket.
Well, all the best for the rest of the season, Captain Codner. And you and the guys, all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you. And then we are now inviting the captain of the winning team, Omar Willis. I could see that you're a very happy man. And today, Northwestern played the perfect game. How do you sum up such a fantastic victory after at a team that has not lost this whole season? You guys absolutely played the perfect game today. What are your thoughts?
It was a good win, good win. Very happy with the win. We spoke about a couple of things in the camp, having momentum. We wanted to keep momentum going from all the games we won previously and just keep winning, doing the basic things right. But more importantly, we also talk about playing as a team. Unfortunately, we had some mishaps today, starting short but whatnot. But the team did, stuck together. Nobody panicked, boundaries hit. But the team is playing like a true team, right? There's a lot of support, even though I'm the captain. The guys pitching with their suggestions and whatnot. And you can see there was no panic today. We just stuck to our plan. We had a simple plan, so we stuck to it.
What are your thoughts on that fantastic 100 by Patrick Heron?
I mean, I keep saying it over and over. Patrick is the best batsman, or one of the best batsmen, I say, in Cayman. His batting style is very aggressive, but you saw something different from him today that you would normally see. He took a lot of responsibility early on, knocking the ball around, right? So you could see the personal responsibility that he really wanted to get a big score for the team today. So we know he could clear the boundaries, but we asked him to just try and bat through more, get going, batting in a partnership and carrying it right down to the end. He got out, but he did the job basically.
And you know what was interesting? I know the ethos of the Northwestern team and club in general is to always be promoting youngsters. And today, you've given Eiffel a chance, and he made 40-something runs. And the great thing was he was batting with Heron, who took all the pressure off him so he could actually get into his own. What are your thoughts on the youngsters and their development this season? And how is it going for him in particular, young Eiffel? I think it was beautiful to watch him at the top today.
For him, firstly, coming off of injury, I know he's been doing a lot of rehab work, doing a lot of training, getting himself back match fit. So I'm just so happy to see that, he came out today and he stuck to the game plan. Again, you saw the partnership. It was built a lot of running ones and twos. There wasn't much dot balls that he faced. He played his game, and when the ball was in his zone to hit away, he hit it away. So, again, I'm so happy to see him perform in the way he performed. It's a plus not only for Northwesters, but a plus for Cayman Cricket in a general, right? So happy about that.
And Skipper, yourself bowled fantastically well. And in commentary, we were talking a lot about how smart you were and clever in changing the pace and the line, especially to the left-hander when you went around the wicket and bowled that ball into those areas that he couldn't free his arm, and he was bowled. But again, I need to make mention of Mighty, who also bowled well. And between him and yourself, pulled the game back really nice. What were your thoughts in that area, in that moment in the game?
Again, it's down to team sport, right? Everybody putting up their hand up to make, put in a contribution, right? And again, we stuck to our game plan, and it worked. I'm just happy that the team performed. As you can see, there's many different. If you look at all the bowlers today, nobody went over 30, I believe. Maybe Vic probably, but again, he took some crucial wickets. He bowled in a time where batsmen were going. So, again, that's a total team effort. And we always say, it's T20 cricket. We don't really want to bowl the same thing over and over. We don't want to be too predictable. We want to, change our lines, but within the game plan. So everybody did that well today.
Well, congratulations, Omar Willis. It was a fantastic game, and I tell you, it was really good for the crowd today. They all enjoyed it. You did really well in the field. I thought it was fantastic the way you maneuver your troops and also your bowling, and to take the responsibility. Earlier mentioned the responsibility from Patrick Heron. I think today in the field as the captain, you took the responsibility with the ball in hand and supported, of course, by your fellow Mighty and so on, those guys. But I thought you did fantastically well today. You show your experience, and I really want to congratulate you and wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Cheers.
And that is our coverage for today. But before we depart, I just want to give you the player of the match. Today we have, as you would expect, Patrick Heron, player of the match, for scoring that fantastic century. And if you have a look at the points table, with that victory from Northwesters today, the points table looks like Paramount still on top with 18 points. Northwesters still third with 15 points. Both teams having completed their 7 preliminary games, with Chiles and West Bay still second and fourth respectively. Those are the 4 teams that will go forward for the semifinals in 2 weeks' time. And we hope that with these teams going forward, it's still not clear which team will play which team. In the semifinals, the first will play fourth, and the second will play third. we have West Bay needing to play one game against the Brack in Cayman Brack. And we have Chili's also to play Cayman Brack here next week, Saturday. So those two games are crucial, both games involving Cayman Brack. Those two games are crucial for settling the final positions for the top four. So we're still none the wiser in knowing who will play whom, but we hope to have two very good semi-final games coming up in 2 weeks' time, and we hope that you will join us, join our live stream. The link will be put out just before we go live, and if you feel to, come on down to the Jimmy Powell Oval. The matches on Sunday start at 2:30 in the afternoon, and we will be happy to have you. So there it is, folks. Thanks very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care, and we will see you again. Bye-bye.